The Minecraft Mace Guide. The mace is a new weapon in Minecraft 1.21 that can do a large amount of damage based on how far the player has fallen. In this video I'll explain how to get the mace, how to use the mace to get the most damage, the enchantments, and repairing it. How to get the mace. The crafting recipe for the mace is a heavy core and a breeze rod in the crafting grid. Both of these items are only found through the trial chamber and new features added in the Minecraft 1.21 update. How to get the breeze rod. The only way to get the breeze rod is through the new breeze mob. The only spot that breezes are found is in the new trial chamber structure through the trial spawners. The trial chamber is found between -20 and -40 underground in the overworld. They will be composed of tough and copper blocks. Trial chamber maps can be bought from the cartographer villagers and will lead you to a trial chamber. If you want to know more about how to find a trial chamber, I'll have a card on the top right. The breeze trial spawner will be surrounded by chiseled tough blocks and is found in the combat chamber. This is a large room that can have dispensers, vaults, trial spawners, and different blocks. There are 8 different configurations of the chamber room, so there may not be a breeze trial spawner in it. The trial spawner will start to spawn breezes when the player is within 14 blocks of the trial spawner. The breeze will attack you with wind charges, however these attacks will give you knockback that can make you take fall damage, giving you 1 damage. The breeze isn't hard to defeat, but it can move around a lot and can leap 15 blocks horizontally and 5 blocks vertically. It is immune to the trident and arrows, so you will have to get close to it. You will have to use a melee weapon like a sword or an axe to defeat it. When you kill the breeze, it will drop 1 to 2 breeze rods. This can be increased by 1 to 2 per a level with a looting enchantment on your sword. The maximum amount of breeze rods that you can get is 8. You only need 1 breeze rod for the mace. How to get the heavy core in Minecraft. To get the heavy core, you will need to start an ominous trial. For this, you will need to get ominous bottles. One change in the Minecraft 1.21 update is that when you kill a raid captain, they don't give you the bad omen effect automatically. Instead, they drop an ominous bottle that when you drink it will give you the bad omen effect. The raid captains will be holding ominous banners. They are found in the pillager patrols, pillager outpost, and the woodland mansions. The ominous bottle will have a level between 1 to 5 and a duration of 100 minutes. If you want to know more about the ominous bottle, I have a card on the top right. After you've got the ominous bottle, you'll have to find a trial chamber. What triggers the ominous trial is when you get the bad omen effect and you are within 14 blocks of a trial spawner. You have to be in line of sight or have to be able to see the trial spawner. This will start the ominous trial. The ominous trial will be 15 minutes and the level will be the same as the bad omen effect. The level of the ominous trial will increase the difficulty. This increases the armor that the mobs will be wearing. Also, the ominous trial will summon projectiles and lingering potions over the players and mobs. The ominous trial transforms the trial spawners into ominous trial spawners. This will despawn any current mob and activate the trial spawner if it is in cooldown. It only is activated from cooldown if it was a trial spawner before and not an ominous trial spawner. Trial spawners will have a 2-second interval that they try to spawn mobs. There are simultaneous mobs. This is the amount of mobs that can be alive at once from a trial spawner. The simultaneous mobs are 1 for the breeze, 2 for the baby zombies, and 3 for other mobs. This increases by 0.5 with each additional player for the breeze and the baby zombies, and 1 for every other mob. The total mobs is the amount of mobs that can be spawned from a trial spawner. The total mobs for the breeze is 2 and all other mobs are 6. For every extra player, the total mobs is increased by 1 for the breeze and 2 for other mobs. If a mob cannot wear armor, the total mob count will be doubled from the ominous trial spawner. Once all the total mobs have been defeated from the ominous trial spawner, it will start to eject loot items. There is a 30% chance for an ominous trial spawner to eject an ominous trial key. This key can be used to unlock the ominous vault. The ominous vault will have red candles, red clays terracotta, and tough blocks around it. There will be a turquoise coloring on the side instead of a copper coloring that the vaults have. Once you have unlocked the ominous vault, there is a 7.5% chance for the heavy core to be ejected. This is the only spot currently in the game to get the heavy core. How to use the mace in Minecraft. Let's start with the basics on how the mace works. The base damage of a mace is 6. This is the same as an iron sword. It can be used as a melee weapon, but it does way more damage with falling. Also, it doesn't have the enchantments as a melee weapon, so it is less effective than an axe or a sword as a melee weapon. Now let's go through how to increase the damage you can do with the mace by understanding the smash attack. The smash attack will be activated when the player falls more than 1.5 blocks and hits a mob. You can hear the sound effect when this happens. The damage will be 4 blocks per block fallen when you hit a smash attack for the first 3 blocks. The next 5 blocks will give you 2 damage per block. After that point, you will get 1 damage per block. This makes the mace most effective from 8 blocks up, and you still will do damage at higher heights, but you will be capped at 1 damage per block. Also, mobs within 2.5 blocks of a mob that was hit with the smash attack will be hit with knockback. The next part is the critical hit. This is when you hit a mob when falling. This can be seen when there are small star and cross-shaped particles that fly out of the target. You can usually perform this attack by jumping and hitting a mob when you are jumping down. When you are using a mace and doing a smash attack, you should be doing a critical hit at the same time automatically without thinking. The critical hit damage is added into the amount of damage per a block fallen. Also, another factor is the negation of fall damage you take, meaning you won't take fall damage if you hit a mob with a smash attack. It'll basically reset from the point you hit the mob. This means you will still take fall damage if you miss the mob or if you still fall far after you've hit the mob. You probably will want to have Feather Falling enchantment on your boots that will reduce the amount of fall damage you take just in case. Two other things with the mace is that there's a cooldown of 2 seconds, so it is a lot slower than the other weapons in the game. It won't do a smash attack if it is in cooldown. This is more meant so you can't spam attacks with the mace. The other is that the mace won't work with Elytra Flight. Let's go through the enchantments that can be placed on the mace. Let's start with the durability with the Unbreaking enchantment. The mace only has a durability of 500, putting it lower than other weapons in the game. Every time you use the mace, it will use 1 durability. The Unbreaking enchantment will reduce the chance of durability being used. The maximum level of Unbreaking is 3. There is a 50% chance for the durability being used at level 1, 33% at level 2, and 25% at level 3. This is going to be a necessary enchantment to put on the mace since it has a low durability, and if you're like me, you'll forget how low the durability on a weapon can be. The Unbreaking enchantment can be put on the mace through the enchanting table or putting an Unbreaking enchanted book on it by using the anvil. Sticking with durability, the next obvious choice is Mending. Mending will repair the durability of a mace through experience orbs. 2 durability will be repaired by 1 XP orb. For this to work, it has to be in your hand or offhand. Also, if you have multiple pieces of armor with Mending, 1 will be chosen at random. The Mending enchantment has to be placed on the mace using the anvil. You can get Mending books through the enchanted books in loot chest, fishing, or villager trading. The villager trading is the best spot as you can get enchanted book trade at the first level, and you can keep breaking the lectern to change the trade until getting the Mending trade as long as you don't lock that trade in by trading with the villager. You can do this with most of the mace enchantments. Mending also pairs well with weapons as you can get experience from killing mobs. Next, we'll get the one enchantment you should avoid, the Curse of Vanishing. This enchantment will make the mace disappear if you die. Curse of Vanishing is a curse enchantment, so it can't be removed from the mace once it's placed on it. The only way to get it on the mace is by putting it on it with the anvil. The Curse of Vanishing will have red text. It should be easy to not place it on the mace as long as you pay attention to the enchanted books you are putting on the mace. Next is the Fire Aspect. The Fire Aspect has 2 levels and lights a mob on fire. It does 3 damage at level 1 and 7 at level 2. The amount of damage the Fire Aspect does is based on how long the mob is on fire. The Fire Aspect can be put on the mace through the anvil. Next, let's talk about the Smite and Bane of Arthropods. Both enchantments will increase the amount of damage by 2.5 per a level. The maximum level is 5. Bane of Arthropods does damage to arthropod mobs, and Smite does damage to undead mobs. Arthropod mobs are bees and spiders. Undead mob is a lot of mobs in the game, like zombies and its variants, and the Wither. Smite and Bane of Arthropods can only be put on the mace through the anvil. The Density enchantment, which is a mace specific enchantment, the Density enchantment that increases the damage per a block fallen, increasing by 0.5 per a level. The maximum level is 5, so it can do 2.5 damage per a block. Just keep in mind this damage is calculated into the smash attack and critical hit, increasing the damage. Density will be available through the enchanting table and anvil. It should be easy to get. The next enchantment is Breach. Breach reduces the effectiveness of armor by 15% per a level. The maximum level is 4. At level 4 it would reduce armor effectiveness by 60%. This would be useful in PvP against other players or mobs that have armor. This enchantment is available through the enchanting table and by using the anvil. We should talk about the incompatible enchantments for the mace. For the mace, the Breach, Density, Smite, and Bane of Arthropods enchantments are incompatible, meaning you can only have one of these enchantments on your mace. I think the obvious choice is Density, as it increases the amount of damage. Breach is more meant for PvP and reduces armor effectiveness. Smite and Bane of Arthropods are mob specific, so they are not as useful as Density. And the last enchantment is the Wind Burst enchantment. This enchantment will emit a burst of wind like a wind charge when you do a smash attack. The strength of the Wind Burst increases per a level. The maximum level is 3. Also, the Wind Burst does not negate fall damage, so you will take fall damage. What this enchantment will do is launch the player upwards and knock back mobs surrounding you. This will be useful as you can use it to launch yourself in the air, then chain attacks against mobs, or if you're being attacked by a large amount of mobs, you can knock them all back. One suggestion I would make is that if you get this enchantment on your mace, you should get Feather Falling on your boots to help reduce fall damage. This enchantment can only be placed on the mace using the anvil. The only location to get the Windburst enchanted book is through the Ominous Vault. The Windburst will be difficult enchantment to get as it is only found in one location and getting it is extremely rare. A random level of Windburst enchanted book has a 3% chance to be ejected from the Ominous Vault. It could take on average opening 33 Ominous Vaults to get the Windburst enchanted book. Plus, if you want the Windburst 3, you may have to find multiple Windburst books and combine them together. To summarize the enchantments, I think the best way to enchant the mace is to place Density, Unbreaking, Mending, Fire Aspect, and Windburst. I prefer any enchantment that does more damage. Some of these enchantments will be based on your own preference, or if you can get the enchantment at all. Lastly, let's go through the durability of the mace and how to repair it. The mace has a durability of 500, with it losing 1 durability when it is used. To repair the mace, you can combine 2 maces that will add the durability together and give a 5% bonus in the crafting grid or the grindstone. The mace can be repaired in the anvil with breeze rods, adding 25% durability. Putting it through the anvil will add the prior work penalty, which will increase the enchantment levels each time you put it through the anvil. I thought I would go through everything about the mace as it is one of the biggest additions in this update. It is an extremely useful weapon when used with the proper attacks and enchantments. It's at least worth getting and playing around with to see how much you like it.